Calling the same function with different arguments, example 2. Hi! In the previous video, we saw how to call the same function with different arguments, and we also called the function total_pens 2 times with different arguments and printed different outputs. Here, we are going to see one more example of how to call the same function with different arguments. Shall we? Okay. We are going to take the same example of checking the height to ride in a giant wheel, which we already saw in our previous videos. So, let us go to Python and take the same code. Okay, now let us save the file and run the code. The output printed is you are allowed to write. Why? Because the value 141 we put when we called the function is greater than 140. So, the if block is executed and the output is printed as you are allowed to write. Now, we are going to call the same function again but with a different argument. Correct. This time, we shall call the function again but with a different value 64 and print the output. Shall we? Okay, let us go to Python again now and write another function call statement and put the value 64 inside the brackets. So, after the last statement, press enter and write _check, open bracket, close bracket and put 64. So here for the second function call, because the value 64 is not greater than 140, the else block is executed and the output printed will be you are not allowed to write. Shall we run the code and check it? Okay, so save the file and run the code. Here, after the first output, we get another output you are not allowed to write because we wrote the second function call. Here the first function call gives first output and the second function call gives the second output. So, when we call the function, the first time we gave the argument 141. So, the output was you are allowed to write. And the second time when we call the function, we gave the argument 64. And the output is you are not allowed to write. Can you see that we get different outputs for different arguments? Yes, very good. Now, shall we change the order of the function call here too and check what happens to our output? Okay, let me put the function call with the argument 64 first and then put the function call with the argument 141 next. Okay, so save the file and run the code. The output printed is you're not allowed to write and then you're allowed to write. Can you look at the difference in the previous output and this output? I hope you understand now how to call the same function with different arguments. We shall see again in another interesting video. Bye-bye.